way that we learn has been pathologized. There's a wonderful scene in Close Encounter of the Third Kind. He's basically receiving messages from the aliens. His behavior becomes autistic, full-on autistic, neurodivergent ADHD. And he's stimming at the table with mashed potato. And I'm like really, really happy going, oh my God, he's doing what I do. He's playing with his food. It's wonderful neurodivergent identity. And his family start crying. His wife just bursts out crying. His son just bursts out crying. And he said,
well, I guess you've noticed something that's a little strange with Dad.
It just really hit me. The way that autistic people learn, play, explore this bloody incredible sensory, textual world, you won't think it's weird. When your kids are lining things up repeatedly, when they're piling up soil, when they're making little potions, in their own world, looking at animals and collecting information, when they're playing with textures and rubbing it on their face, smelling it and licking it, they are learning. They are learning the way that humans have always learned. It is why autistic people struggle so much in this education system, because that type of learning, quite frankly, is not permitted outside of respite playtime breaks and art classes. To pathologize a whole neurotype because we behave and learn differently has led to some woeful misunderstandings about our behaviour. I've seen autistic communication completely unrecognised because it's not been taught. I've seen autistic people trying to interact, trying to explore, trying to learn and navigate life in this way, but we're not permitted. Often we get this. No, don't do that. Look this way. Look at me. Don't look over there. Don't look at that interesting thing which you're actually looking at the way that the light refracts. Taking a moment of mindfulness. You're zoning out. See, when these kids are zoning out and they're in their own world, what they're doing is they're collecting calm. They are regulating their sensory system. Even that has been pathologized. Parents getting upset because they've not been educated. They've not been fundamentally taught, hey, your kiddo is taking a sensory break. If you stop demanding their eyes, they can hear you and follow their interests. That is your route in.
In my findings, there was a shift in ideology towards a more behaviourist approach by non-autistic parents. Now, amongst many of the parental accounts, to me, depressingly, there was a lot of negativity around the idea of social change. Society won't change for us, therefore I have to make my child kind of more resilient to an unfriendly world, if you like.
Autistic people, if you are watching this, you are not broken. You are not a disease. You are not disordered. Your disorder is extremely ordered relative to the autistic thinking. If only they could see that. Autistic brains, especially the ADHD types, we are born for stimulation. We are born to learn and mote and think and catalyze whole waves of thought from being stimulated from this environment through our senses. And my argument to you is, where is that happening? Instead of just blaming the autistics, how about we take a step back, have a look at your environment, share some of that blame. Got a great tip from a therapist once, and she said, see that pie of blame that you keep giving to yourself, Sarah? Give a slice of the blame out. So instead of the autistics taking it all, society can have some of that blame. The 9 to 5, Monday to Friday work rule, which is basically making the whole population a nervous, anxious, depressed wreck. We live in concrete jungles away from nature. It is depressing. I need to round up. I think they've got everything I need to get, isn't it? I think they got the message right. Oh, I need to tell them what they can do. Okay, that's it. So what you can do, go away now and look at your autistic child, friend, loved one. And if you are autistic, look at yourself in a different way. The next time you flap, the next time they hum, the next time they run up and around naked everywhere, the next time something unusually, beautifully, authentically autistic happens, don't shut it down. Look at the context. Look at what they're trying to communicate. Look at what led to the distress. Look at what led to the misunderstanding. Remember their trauma. Remember this overwhelms them. Remember that socialising is not their forte. And actually, it's not even their interest. They want to talk to you about space or about autism or about civil rights or something like that. But you are hanging with a different neurotype. And that, my friends, that's a goddamn privilege.